Hi, it's Mike here again. Okay, so I just wanted to share another little lesson that I shared with some friends of mine just recently, and I could just see a couple of light bulb moments, a couple of people, in fact one in particular, who was enthusing and thanked me for the breakthrough because I put it in a different way that you'd never considered before. So I just thought I would share that with you today, and who knows, it might help you as well. But it was a few years ago actually. I used to fly to Toronto every 3 months for 1 day of business coaching. And of course you never go to Toronto from Scotland for 1 day. So it was always at least 4 days out of my schedule. But it was literally just for 1 day of business coaching, and then I would fly back again the next day. Well, usually what I would do actually is I would come back 2 days later, so the next day for me I would just sit and write down everything that I'd just been going through, and invariably I would have my eureka moment. So sometimes it was on the plane on the way back, and other times it was actually literally just sitting outside a cafe or whatever and reading through my notes and rewriting, etc. Having already done the touristy thing on the Saturday or whatever prior to the event. So anyway, I just wanted to share this because I was telling the story that one day I was in the gym the night before I was due to fly out to Toronto, and I met a chap who used to be a company rep, and he used to call on me because I ran my own business, and in fact I had 10 staff, and he changed from being an employee of the company he was repping for, and decided to do the same vocation as me, which was financial advice. And so I met him in the gym, and I said, "Hi Dave, how are you doing? Have you got yourself an assistant yet?" Which is what we had previously talked about. I'd suggested he should get himself an assistant. And his very words stayed with me, because his very words were, "I'm not like you, Mike, I'm not ambitious." And I thought, oh, okay, bite my tongue time. And I thought, well, fair enough, you know, it takes all kinds. And but I did question it. I did judge in my own head how strange, I thought. Why would you want to go and have your own business and not class yourself as ambitious? So in my own head I thought, he's just being a meanie, he's just choosing not to spend money on an assistant. So anyway, next day I was on the plane, and I was literally above the clouds. I was looking out the window and I'm thinking to myself, I am here above the clouds looking down on the planet below as lots of people are spinning around in their cars, in their nose to tail journeys, doing whatever they want to do, thinking life is important, and that argument, that person didn't put the lid on the toothpaste or whatever, and it was really fascinating to be above it all and looking down and thinking back. And I was thinking about my friend Dave from the gym, and I thought, you know, he's obviously doing adequately well, because what's happening this morning, as I'm on the plane, he's actually dealing with mail that falls through the letterbox. He's going through it, he's opening the mail, he's dealing with what needs to be filed, he's doing the filing, he's phoning the clients to make appointments, he's phoning the companies to get quotes in. He's checking through his emails, responding to those. He's typing up his own reports. He's making his own coffee, etc., etc. And I thought, well, he's obviously dealing with that adequately well. You know, he's got to deal with the bank, and he's got to deal with other overheads, and so on and so forth. But the problem is, tomorrow it all starts again, and the mail drops through the letterbox. And I thought, here's me, I'm employing all those staff, but the fascinating thing is, I know that even though I'm away to Toronto, my business is still working for me, even though I'm not there. Which is quite a lovely thing to think, that actually they don't need me. Actually, I've allowed myself to be out of the equation, and everything runs smoothly. So in my office, for example, I could do the filing if I want to, but I don't. I can make the coffee if I want to, but I don't. I don't even open my own mail in the morning. You know, if I don't answer the phone to the clients, I don't phone the clients to make appointments, I don't type up the report, I don't do any of that stuff. I pay other people to do what they are ultimately much better and more equipped and faster, and enjoy it, doing all those admin tasks for me that I don't enjoy doing, which allows me free to do what I do best, and therefore I can bring in sufficient income to pay them to do what they do best. And everybody's happy, everybody loves it. So the point of all that is, what I was saying in my discussion is, we are all using leverage all of the time. And solopreneurs, the people that I was speaking to, are mostly small entrepreneurs that run their own business. And most of them, in fairness, are scared to spend money. They're scared to, what I would call, invest money, not spend it. Because they see it as a cost rather than an investment. And it's only a few entrepreneurs that will get to the next stage and will employ someone, and let's say it's 12,000 a year, and that means you've got to find another 1,000 within the next 30 days to pay that first member of staff to do whatever they do. But it frees you up, it frees up your time to focus on bringing in the money by doing what you do best, that you could pay those staff. And it's a real, I've been there and I understand it's a real challenge at the beginning for an entrepreneur or a solopreneur to go through that expense and that pain, if you like, of not knowing if there's sufficient going to come in to be able to cover those costs and so on and so forth. And all I wanted to point out is, actually, if you bear with me here, we are all using leverage all of the time, and we just don't realise it. We just don't appreciate it. For example, it could take me the rest of my life to work out how to make my shirt. But I don't. I go along to the shop and I pay my X pounds, and all through the system everybody else has been paid their part of getting that shirt manufactured and brought to the shop for me to go along and purchase it. Does that make sense? So if you've ever used a car or a bus or a train or a taxi or an airplane, bicycle, you have used leverage. You didn't make the seat that you're sitting on right now, chances are. You didn't make the computer that you're watching right now, the internet that's brought it to you. You didn't make the roof above your head. You didn't make the food that you've had already today. You didn't do any of that, mostly. Okay, you might have made some food, you might have grown it in the garden yourself. But by and large, we are all using leverage all of the time. And we just don't realise it, we don't appreciate it. Just how much leverage and how many ripple effects are involved in getting that food to your table or getting that shirt on your back. Okay, so once you get that and once you accept and acknowledge, yes, I have been using leverage all of my life, what's next? How can I use leverage in a clever way, an effective way, to effectively pay other people to do what they do best, which is win-win-win. Everybody wins. It frees up my time to give a better service to my clients, my customers, and a better product. Everybody wins. Everybody gets paid as a reward basis, and it's a win-win-win because the world gets better and better and better because we're allowing ourselves to focus on what we do best. Okay? Yes, you could learn to go to night class and learn how to maintain, be a mechanic for your own vehicle, but chances are you haven't. Some people do, fortunately, but chances are the majority haven't. And it's exactly the same with the internet or with, I don't know, printing your own business cards, whatever it might be. If you want an SEO expert, ask me. Don't try and do it yourself. It's just such a big topic that you end up spending all your time trying to master something that someone else is already a master at. Okay? So, by all means, use leverage. Take advantage of leverage. You're doing other people a massive favour by employing them and giving them the opportunity to shine. And you're empowering them by allowing them to take responsibility, okay, for their part of it, of the effort. So, please do empower, employ, and pass on those ripples of love and respect and kudos, and it's win-win-win. Everybody wins. Okay, that's today's message of the day.